I don't know what that is, but I'm getting that thing. I want that thing. Apparently it's some type of pulled pork panini. It's got my name all over it.
Voici Slow Trip.
We're traveling around the world one trip at a time.
Allons-y.
We're traveling from Amsterdam to Istanbul in 60 days using do-it-yourself travel. This is part of my retirement bucket list. Be sure to check out the prior 2 episodes, part 1 and part 2, covering how we started the trip and how we've gotten this far. This portion of the trip will be making our way through Italy top to bottom. We begin in Milan and make our way to Florence, and we'll tour the area through Cinque, Terre, visiting the small towns by boat. From Florence, we'll move on to Rome, and from Rome, we'll travel to Salerno, where we pick up the scooters and move along the Amalfi Coast. From Salerno, we travel back across Italy and we'll conclude this portion of the trip in Venice. I hope you stick with us. Every day, I'm going to try and make a 1-minute video, show you something that we ate, something that we did, something that we saw. I call them little breadcrumbs.
This is the Duomo de Milan. It's a cathedral here in Milan. It's about 10 p.m. at night. There's tons of people here.
Okay, we're in the subway in Milan, and an interesting fact here, the subway is 96 decibels. Twice as much as in Amsterdam, 96 decibels. It's like a train roaring through a tunnel, and really loud.
Amazing breakfast. It's just delicious. This is a piece of Parmesan cheese for breakfast.
What you do is you take a little piece of Parmesan, a little nugget, and you take your little piece of bacon and you put it inside the bacon and you wrap it up. And I call this bacon Parmesan nugget, a Parmesan.
This morning we're going to Monument Cemetery. We're riding on a tram.
The ride's more like a trolley. It's kind of an exciting roller coaster type of ride.
Cemetery Memorial, and it's a cemetery that has all sorts of ornate headstones and sculptures attached to people's grave sites.
It's common throughout Europe. There are drinking fountains pretty much everywhere. It's a great way to cool down on a hot day.
This is the Cathedral of Florence. It's called the Duomo di Firenze. The entire church is made of green and pink and white marble. It's all marble. And it was constructed in the 13th and 14th centuries. It has the largest brick dome ever built in the world.
Pants? No pants.
Il y a une zone surprenante de saucisson sec en Florence.
We're walking along and we're on our way to go find a kebab shop, and all of a sudden, I don't know what that is, but I'm getting that thing. I want that thing. Apparently it's some type of pulled pork panini. It's got my name all over it. Sweet Jesus, look at this. This looks good. Oh my God. This is amazing. This is like a pulled pork sandwich with some kind of hot picante sauce on it, on a hard crunchy bread. It's hot. That might be the best thing that I have eaten in a week. And the meat is like a little bit soft. Today's trip is to Cinque Terre, which is on the northwest coast of Italy. The only way to get there is by train or by boat, and we're going to be taking the ferry. Cinque Terre means the 5 villages. The region is a national park area and a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
We're in Baronazza. It's awesome.
I sometimes hear people concerned about traveling to Italy that they're only going to be able to eat pasta, there won't be anything else to choose from. And I'm here to tell you that's not the case. In all our travels on this trip and many others, what we found is that there's plenty of different things to eat. Things you had back home, things that are your personal favorites, you'll find them everywhere you go. You just have to look for them. And we encourage people to eat what you like. Don't worry about getting stuck eating only the local cuisine.
I just want to tell you how much I love porchetta. I bought a porchetta sandwich in the train station to take home to eat later on. And while I'm walking home, I find a sandwich shop that has fresh porchetta sandwiches, and I stopped and I ate one there. I love porchetta. Why do they talk about pasta? Everyone should be eating porchetta. This morning we're in Pescia, Italy, the ancestral home of my mother's grandparents. My great-great-grandparents came to the United States in the early part of the 20th century, and they were from Pescia.
Today, Pescia is famous for carnation flowers and paper. But years ago, Pescia was known for silk. One of the most famous landmarks in Pescia is its cathedral, which dates from the 5th century.
A great experience. I love this town.
Sometimes in the morning, we like to have the big breakfast in the hotel, but other days we're traveling, so we get breakfast usually inside a train station. They have amazing food. It's not that expensive, and it's quick and convenient and easy to get on the go. I'm so excited. Today, it's time to leave Florence and head to Rome.
This is our new thing. On a hot day, you gotta have a slushie. We like the lemon slushies. They're so good. It's just make your day. They cool you out. Get your core nice and cool. In Rome, we're staying in a boutique hotel that's literally 100 feet away from some Roman ruins where Julius Caesar was assassinated. It's within a half a mile of all the major landmarks. We're right in the heart of Rome. We'll do a walkthrough of our hotel so you can see what it's like. This is our building. We're on the 4th floor. Put the code in. Sorry, another little tiny elevator, but it's not as small as France.
Major brand hotels are really great, but these boutique hotels, they offer a real bespoke experience, oftentimes right in the center of town with a very high level of service. Just to give you an example of how Rome is built up around the ruins, you come down an alley and this is what you see. This is the back of the Pantheon. The scale is enormous.
This is a bucket list moment. We're going to see Vatican City.
C'est ici, à ce lieu, que Pierre a fondé son église.
I have to say, I've been in many Catholic churches over the years, and I have never had quite as much of an emotional response as I did to St. Peter's Basilica. The scale and grandeur is just something I never expected nor have ever seen before.
They call to me every morning, "Bene, bene, porchetta, porchetta. The porchetta's here for you." The smell in here is incredible. It smells like delicious salted meat. And cheese, Parmesan. There's the whole bay of Parmesan here. It's just fantastic. I want to get some dried sausages to go, but I have no idea which one to pick.
Maybe something dried with pepper. Pepper, yeah. You want to try first? Yes, try it first. Sure.
Really exceptional.
This is our breakfast this morning, brought to us in our room. Fantastic.
It's our last day in Rome, and the sights just keep getting better and better. It's hard to get the scale of some of these monuments, but if I had to describe Trevi Fountain, it's like a fountain that's the size of a giant building. I'm just so excited for the next part of our trip. We're going to Salerno to see the Amalfi Coast.
We got scooters today, and we're driving south along the Amalfi Coast. We're going to a place called Agropoli, and we're going to see some ancient Roman and Greek ruins. This is the Temple of Neptune from about 500 BC.
Oui, je suis trop cool.
I don't know. The vegetation smells, and we're very close to the ocean, and it's really quite an experience. It's so great. We're riding scooters today. I'm so excited. I just can't believe I'm doing this.
Scooter rental in Italy is extremely easy. All you need is a car license to be able to rent a scooter of a certain size. It costs about $30 a day. You need a copy of your driver's license, and you also need an international driver's license to be able to rent the scooter. Be sure to book your scooters early because they sell out during the summer months when all the tourists arrive in Italy. Riding scooters in Italy was probably one of the high points in our entire 60 days across Europe. You really have to try this.
Today we're riding north from Salerno to Positano along the Amalfi Coast.
On était prévu de notre arrivée, on a commencé là-bas.
Tell you what, this is not for the faint of heart, but it has got to be some of the best roads that I've ever ridden on. I mean, it's like hairpin turns, buses and trucks coming in the wrong direction. I love it. What a day. It's time for a granate.
Today is a slow day. We're just taking it easy.
Every 14 days, we like to get into a laundromat. We kind of wash everything.
Okay, so what we got here is some octopus with potatoes. It's a cold dish. It's antipasta. And I just love the octopus.
Salami pizza, which is basically like a pepperoni pizza, and this fried thing here is fried cheese.
So now we're far south Italy, and we haven't had kebabs in a few days. This is a Hawaiian puke with pulled chicken, and it's on a bed of rice with vegetables, and it's a good kebab substitute, let me tell you.
Bougie writes reviews for all the places we eat at, everywhere we stay. She makes notes on the museums. On all the popular review sites, you'll find our reviews listed under the Slow Travel logo. Let me remind you, Slow Travel has no sponsors. We get no compensation from any of the people or places or things that we talk about on our YouTube channel. We also film all our footage while we're traveling. It's all our own. We do everything ourselves. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and spread the word. This channel would not be possible without your support.
We've arrived in Venice. I'm so excited. This is awesome.
This is Venetian cicchetti. It's like tapas, where they bring you small dishes of different sorts of fish and meat and cheese. Some of it fried, some of it battered and baked.
That is not safe. We're on a water taxi going to San Marcos, which is kind of on the south side of Venice there. And this is about a 50-some foot boat, and they just loaded it up with 100 people, 200 people. It's crazy. You ever wonder how you hear those stories about like 300 people dying in a ferry accident somewhere in Europe, somewhere in the Mediterranean? Well, that's the kind of boat that it happens on. I said, we're getting off of this thing. I'm not putting up with that.
Ouais, je savais pas que je me suis mariée avec un peureux.
Holy cow, I'm glad we got off that. So it's a water bus, and you kind of take it around the waterway to get to the different tourist attractions, but they loaded it up with people. There had to be 100 people on board that boat, maybe more. And the boat's listing to one side because it's so overloaded. They're not counting the number of people. They just keep shoveling them on there with suitcases and whatever type of luggage. And the people just, of course, just keep packing inside there. So there's no way to breathe. You have to wear a mask. And it's just crazy. And oh, by the way, you get the pleasure of paying $42 for 2 tickets to use it all day long. It's nuts. It's a disaster waiting to happen. Someone's going to get killed doing that. And the fact that it goes on every day and no one drowns or dies is probably sheer luck.
I gotta say, 14 days across Italy has probably been one of the best trips that we've done so far. There's just so much to see, so much history. It's really something that you've gotta do once in your lifetime. I think we'll do another episode where we'll talk about some of the lessons that we learned. There are things you need to know if you're going to be doing this sort of trip through Italy, especially during the summer. I'll cover that in another episode. We'll make that something separate. As we wrap up our time in Italy, we're now looking forward to moving through Eastern Europe. We don't know what to expect. Be sure to check out the next episode in our travels, Amsterdam to Istanbul in 60 days. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Go slow.
Doucement.
Go travel.
Voyager.